Are you gonna sit here and call me crazy? Are you gonna sit here and say I'm doing too much? All I could remember is screaming at the top of my lungs, louder than I've ever yelled before. God, please, let me have my moment. I lay up at night sitting thinking about how I'm letting my life pass me by. And I can't lie when I say I wish that was me. It should have been me. It runs in my head like a rerun and I cannot turn it off. It bothers me every day because I went through all of that and still nothing has happened. So it's 1 a.m. on a Saturday night and I'm outside, just like everybody else. I'm outside. But the only difference is I'm not doing the same thing everybody else is doing. I'm at the gym. I'm working. Are you gonna sit here and call me crazy? Are you gonna sit here and say I'm doing too much? Because I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I can no longer sleep at night. I sit up all night pondering, thinking about everything, thinking about why I'm here and I'm not over there, thinking about what I'm doing wrong. I lay up at night sitting thinking about how I'm letting my life pass me by. Year by year, getting too old to do the things that I always wanted to do because I waited too long to attack. I sat there and I thought about it, I considered it, but I never did it. I sat here and watched people that I thought I had more potential of become wildly successful, wildly famous. And I can't lie when I say I wish that was me. It should have been me. So the only thing I know is raw action. It doesn't matter if it's left, it doesn't matter if it's right. All I know at this point is to just go. Do something. Get up and fucking dance if you have to. It doesn't matter. Just do something. Because quite frankly, it bothers me. It bothers me so much now that I can't just not do anything. It bothers me more that I didn't start on the football team till senior year. It bothers me because every single night, every night that I would go to sleep, I would listen to motivational speeches and I would just listen to that all night about being great. All I wanted to do is be great. All I wanted to do was be good. And I never got to taste that. And it kills me. It bothers me more that I had ideas from a young age and nobody ever wanted to act on those ideas. I had great ideas of filming content. I had great ideas of us getting a house together and moving out as early as possible. But nobody ever wanted to do what I wanted to do. So I was forced to do it alone. It bothered me more when I had to sit on a box of frying pans because I had nowhere to sit, because I had nowhere to rest on when I was staying with my girlfriend's cousins in Crenshaw. It bothered me more. That bothered me more. I went through a lot, and the last thing I wanted to do, the only thing I wanted to do was to just sit for a few seconds. So that's what I did on a box of frying pans. It bothered me when I had to push carts all day long, every single day for 8 to 10 hours in 100+ degree weather. It bothered me. The summer that I broke up with my girlfriend, the summer that my girlfriend went to college across the country, the summer that we broke up, that not even a day later, I was pushing carts in the heat, dealing with what I had to do, dealing with what I was already dealing with. I had to push carts in the heat in a 100-degree parking lot all summer long. The whole summer, while she was out embarking on a whole nother adventure, living a whole different part of her life, a whole separate segment in a whole different place, breathing different air, seeing different things, seeing and experiencing new faces while I stayed home. It bothered me when I had to leave my hometown and move to a whole different city in a matter of a few days. So I packed all my shit, I got everything ready, and then I drove straight there. I didn't have a single dollar to my name. I had put everything I had into gas, and it was a 5-hour ride there. Little did I know that it was going uphill the whole time, so I burnt through the gas halfway there. I had no more gas. So I remember driving up the hill, and the only 2 gas stations up the hill were at the end of the hill and the beginning of the hill. So as I'm in the middle, I had to make a conscious decision. Am I going to go back or am I going to push forward? Am I going to go back to the city, back to my parents, back to where I just went through all of this stuff and cruise down the hill and maybe potentially make it? Or am I going to drive up the hill and try and make a new future for myself and try something different and potentially have my car break down in the middle of the street where there's no help, in the middle of the desert where there's no help? Nobody was coming to get me. I would have to sleep on the side of the road. I just remember what thought in my head, I just remember thinking that I had to keep going. I had to try and make something out of my life. So I drove up the hill and I just see my gas slowly and slowly and slowly empty out. And all I could remember is screaming at the top of my lungs, louder than I've ever yelled before. And I just remember saying, God, please, after all the shit that I've been through, let me have my moment. Let me have a new adventure. Let me go breathe some different. Let me go do something different. Let me go experience something different for once in my life. Yes, I went through a lot, but I was excited to see what was on the end of the road. So I kept driving. And by the grace of God, I'm telling you right now, I made it to the end of the mountain. I don't know how. I was driving on fumes. I don't know how I made it. Uphill for 2.5. You're not gonna believe me if I tell you. But it doesn't fucking matter what you believe, because this is my story. This is what I went through. This is what I overcame. This is who makes me who I am, and this is gonna be the reason that I make it. So I drove 2 fucking hours on no gas. And so I made it to the next moments that forever defined me. It bothered me when I was homeless. It bothered me when I was homeless. It bothered me when I had nowhere to sleep. It bothered me when I had to break into apartments just to have a place to sleep. Using the rest of the water. For those of you who don't know, there's hot water in abandoned apartments, but it's only for a few minutes. So I would have to take a shower for 1 to 2 minutes. Me and the girl I was with at the time would have to take a fast shower. It bothered me, and it almost broke me. It bothers me more that everybody around me has money right now. It bothers me more that my best friend, it bothers me more that my old ex-girlfriend that I was homeless with all have money. Everybody around me is going to travel. Everybody around me gets to go see jungles and beaches and Texas and Vegas, and they're all getting to travel and see things that change them while I'm stuck here. Because at this point, it just seems almost unrealistic. Me having my own money, me becoming my own person, me going to see the world off my own dollar just doesn't seem realistic. Because why am I always the one that gets left behind? Why am I always the one that is just left to dream? It bothered me more when I was working overnight at IHOP for every holiday, every event, every moment, just to pay the rent. Halloween, Christmas, 4th of July, everything. I was working overnight just to pay the bills, doing honest work just to pay the bills. It bothered me because I moved out there with the intention of changing my life and becoming someone. But instead, all I ended up doing was serving the very celebrities that I wanted to be like. Watching them laugh and enjoy the life that I wanted. It bothered me more for when the first time in years, I swear, I almost let a tear out because I was taking the bus home after work at Chili's every single day, late at night, just to save up some money. It bothered me more when I went to my first LA party, right? I finally got invited to an LA party, and this is a few years ago. It bothered me that when I showed up, right, we were on a group, and I told everyone, I'm next. You know, I'm gonna be rich and famous too. I'm gonna be that person too. And everybody was just kind of laughing it off. And I even remember someone specifically telling me, normally the people who come around here and they blow up and they become somebody, they have that oomph to them. They have that like star factor that makes them who they are. And I don't think you have it. It bothered me more because I believed him. It bothered me more when I was importing Lamborghinis, Rolls Royces, nice cars. I was driving luxury cars every day, but none of those cars were ever mine. None of those cars were ever mine. I felt like a fraud. It bothered me more when I decided to go and make content, right? I decided to go to LA with a group of friends. I decided to make content. This was my idea. I brought my camera. I brought my resources. I hired my cameraman. I brought everybody together. And when I showed up and I finally met a celebrity who was also a streamer, when I finally met somebody that I could connect with, when we walked up to him, he said hi to everybody but me. He ignored me like I wasn't even there. It bothered me more. It bothers me more that my mom's still working to this day. It bothers me more that my dad still has to wake up at 5 a.m. every day to go to work. It bothers me more because every day after 7th grade, I remember this so specifically because the walk from school to my house, everybody kind of has to take one path. So every day I would walk home alone and I would walk behind the cool kids of my city. And they never even noticed me there. They never even noticed me watching them. I would watch them every day. I would even analyze them every single day and study them and just wish that I was cool. Wish that I was them every single day. It bothers me every day because I went through all of that and still nothing has happened. I'm still here and nothing has changed. I'm in the gym and everybody just thinks I'm another gym guy. And it bothered me more than it ever bothered you. Every loss, every setback, every you're not enough, it runs in my head like a rerun and I cannot turn it off. And I replay it until I find a way to beat it. And finally, I'm not running from it anymore. I'm not thinking about it anymore. I'm taking action towards it now. How many opportunities did I have to miss? How many chances did I have to fuck this up? Because I'm way more than what I went through. I'm a coach, I'm an entertainer. Everything that I set out to be now, I will become. Because I love life enough to fight for the little pieces. I will have a chance to be great. I will have a chance to live the life that I want. I will have the lifestyle that I dream about. And it will have the best outcome for me. I will have the things that I built in my mind 1,000 times over. I will have the women that I want. I will succeed in the content game. I will buy my mom a house. I will pay back everybody that I owe. And when we look at this from a year or two from now, we're all gonna say, wow, he really did it from nothing. Wow, he really called everything that he was gonna do. He called it. Because even when things weren't going my way, even when nights felt too quiet, even when days felt too cold, I never quit. I knew God put something in me long before it ever happened, before I could ever even understand it. It's not just me. You're here for a reason. If you feel what I feel, if you've got moments and stories too that you cannot shake, if you feel this type of feeling, if you have moments like this too that just play on and on in your head, why don't you care like I care? Why aren't you taking it personal? Why aren't you taking massive action every single day? Because you and I, we're not that different. The only difference is I decided I'm going to win. Wavy Drew, follow all my socials. I'm out of here, man. I'm gonna finish my workout. I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna figure out a way out of this.